In April 2019, Tiger Woods walked toward the 18th green at Augusta National. Thousands of people surrounded him. He was about to win the Masters. But that was not the strangest thing about the moment. We were low in the world for Mark Kerr. 2 years earlier, Tiger Woods believed his career might already be over. His back had deteriorated so badly that golf was no longer the main problem. Ordinary life was sitting, sleeping, playing with his children. For a man who had spent most of his life controlling almost everything inside a golf course, his own body had stopped cooperating. We were low in the world for Mark Kerr. And yet, he came back. He won again. Then he won the Masters. The obvious explanation is resilience. Tiger Woods simply refused to quit. But the deeper we look, the less complete that explanation becomes. Because Woods did not build his identity around surviving weakness. He built it around defeating it. Control the swing. Control the emotion. Control the pressure. Control the outcome. For years, that philosophy appeared to work. Which raises a more difficult question. What happens when a man who built himself to feel unbeatable finally discovers something he cannot beat? We were low in the world for Mark Kerr. To understand that, we have to go back long before the Masters. Long before the red shirt. Long before the world knew his name. Tiger's father, Earl Woods, did not simply teach his son how to play golf. He trained his concentration. During practice, Earl would deliberately create distractions, noise, movement, anything that might interrupt the swing. The purpose was simple. Pressure should become familiar before real pressure arrived. It is tempting to look at this childhood and imagine Tiger as something manufactured, a child programmed for greatness. But the evidence complicates that story. Tiger later remembered practicing with his father as something he genuinely loved. Golf was not simply discipline, it was pleasure. And perhaps that combination mattered, because Tiger may have discovered very early that control felt good. Repetition reduced uncertainty. Preparation made pressure predictable. And golf offered something life rarely does: immediate evidence. The ball either went where you wanted, or it didn't. We were low in the world for Mark Kerr. The victories came. Then more victories. Eventually, Tiger stopped looking like someone learning how to handle pressure. He looked almost immune to it. By the early 2000s, opponents were not simply competing against his swing. They were competing against the expectation that Tiger Woods would eventually find a way to win. And every victory reinforced the same lesson. Pressure could be handled, weakness could be corrected, problems could be solved. But there was a hidden danger inside that belief. If every obstacle becomes something to defeat, how do you recognize the obstacle that should make you stop? We were low in the world for Mark Kerr. In 2008, Tiger Woods was about to find out. In 2008, Tiger Woods arrived at the US Open with a damaged left leg, walking hurt, swinging hurt. And yet, he kept playing. After 72 holes, he was still tied. Then came 18 more. Still tied. One final playoff hole remained. Tiger won 91 holes, one major championship, and a body that had been telling him to stop, are released to receive lead without anywhere from are aligned. 2 days later, Woods announced that his season was over. His knee required reconstructive surgery. From the outside, this looked like the ultimate proof of Tiger's mentality. Pain appeared. He defeated it. But perhaps Torrey Pines revealed something more dangerous. Tiger had spent his life learning that discomfort did not necessarily mean stop. Sometimes it meant continue. Focus harder. Find another way. And in 2008, that philosophy produced one of the greatest victories of his career. But it also creates a difficult question. What happens when the mentality that makes you extraordinary also teaches you to ignore your own limits. RLEs to be Steve lead without anywhere from are aligned. Tiger recovered. He returned. The system appeared intact. RLEs to be Steve lead without anywhere from are aligned. Then, in 2009, the collapse came from somewhere else. Revelations about Woods' private life destroyed the carefully controlled image surrounding him. The story became global. But one fact matters more than the scandal itself. Tiger did not present himself as the victim. He acknowledged that the choices were his. That distinction matters. It would be easy to explain everything through pressure, fame, isolation, the strange experience of becoming Tiger Woods. But explanation cannot become excuse. These were decisions, and Woods accepted responsibility for them. RLEs to be Steve lead without anywhere from are aligned. Still, something fundamental had changed. For years, Tiger's greatest psychological weapon had been separation. Noise stayed outside. Emotion stayed beneath the surface. The golf course remained controllable. Now, the boundary between the private man and the public athlete had collapsed. For perhaps the first time, Tiger Woods could not control how the world saw Tiger Woods. But even that was survivable. Reputation could change. Golf still offered something familiar: a score, a tournament, a result. RLEs to be Steve lead without anywhere from are aligned. Then the body began taking even that away. The injuries accumulated. His back deteriorated. Operations followed. By 2017, the question was no longer whether Tiger Woods could win another major. It was whether he could live normally, without pain. Golf began to disappear from his future. And for a man who had spent his life solving problems through preparation, this was a different kind of problem, not one he could out-practice, out-focus, or out-will. Control had finally become insufficient. RLEs to be Steve lead without anywhere from are aligned. That should have been the end. Except, after spinal fusion surgery, Tiger began hitting golf balls again. First short shots, then longer ones. Eventually, full swings. And slowly, a different question emerged. Not whether Tiger Woods could become the old Tiger again. Perhaps he couldn't. The real question was harder. Could he compete? Without needing to be him, Tiger Woods did return. But the man who returned was not physically capable of living exactly as the old Tiger had lived. Endless practice was gone. So was the old relationship with his own body. Recovery mattered more now. Limits mattered more. For the younger Tiger, control had meant eliminating weakness. Now, control increasingly meant managing it. That distinction changes everything. Whatever fied. Because in April 2019, Tiger returned to Augusta. He was 43. He had not won a major championship in nearly 11 years. And for once, he did not need to dominate the tournament from the beginning. He stayed close. He waited. He allowed other players to make mistakes. Then, on Sunday, the opportunity appeared. Tiger took it. Whatever fied. When the final putt disappeared, the crowd erupted. His children were waiting behind the green, and Tiger Woods had won the Masters again. It is tempting to call that moment a restoration, the old Tiger, back. But perhaps that interpretation misses what made the victory important. The old Tiger believed his body could be commanded. The man who won in 2019 already knew it could betray him. He knew careers could disappear, reputations could collapse, control could fail. And he competed anyway. Perhaps the victory was not proof that Tiger had become unbeatable again. Perhaps it was proof that he no longer needed to be. Whatever fied. Then, in February 2021, his body was tested again. A serious car crash left Woods with devastating injuries to his right leg and ankle. This time, the challenge was larger than golf. During rehabilitation, Tiger reduced his world to something much smaller. Not another major, not another comeback. The next hour, then the hour after that. And something about that approach feels strangely familiar. The child, trained by Earl Woods, had learned to narrow his attention until pressure became manageable. Decades later, the same instinct remained, but its purpose had changed. Once, focus helped Tiger control competition. Now, it helped him survive uncertainty, whatever fied. And that forces us to revise the question we began with. What happens when the identity of being unbeatable survives the moment your body and your life prove otherwise? Perhaps the identity does not disappear. Perhaps its meaning changes. Whatever fied. Tiger Woods spent his early career asking one question. Can I defeat this? The course, the opponent, the pressure, the pain. But eventually, life presented problems that victory could not erase. His own decisions had consequences. His reputation could not be completely controlled. His body developed limits that determination could not simply remove. And the older Tiger faced a different question. Can I continue? Without defeating everything? Whatever fied. Maybe that is what survived. Not invincibility, not control. Something quieter. The ability to return to the next manageable thing. The next step. The next swing. The next day. Tiger Woods became famous because, for a time, he appeared almost impossible to beat. But perhaps the more revealing part of his story began after that illusion disappeared. Because, eventually, everyone discovers something they cannot defeat. The question is, what remains when they do?